Hello, welcome back to Blenders to see live noding. In this episode, I'm going to share with you kind of setup that I did using Sverchok and grease pencil. So this is further experimentations with a grease pencil node. This is the nodes. Actually, this is the grease pencil node, and this is the data that's being modified on the fly. So basically, what we have right here. I'm testing this setup where I can provide like a one complete picture of drawing created using grease pencil, like you normally would draw, like a single frame. It's currently just static, but I'm testing some kind of instancing system using Sverchok, and apparently I found few kind of quirks, and maybe this is not perfect yet, but still I kind of happy that we are able to do this, and I can actually render this out as a OpenGL render. So yeah, I don't know, maybe this is not like not yet ready for full production. Like sometimes we get this kind of weird drawing. I'm not sure if this is actually just on my laptop. You can give it a try, but this is like 144 instance of a single drawing. Currently, each and every strokes actually have random coloring. So you can see the head of this guy is different from this guy, and the eyes, and then the mouth, and then the body, and the legs, and the arm. All each and every strokes have different color, and you can see also there's also like a weird thing happenings with the fill and strokes. As you can see, this is not this is the data is itself can grow really quickly, so it's not like it's not as simple as you might think. Ideally, this should be simple enough at some stage that you can easily generate like a loop for each character per layer. What I'm trying to say is like currently what's going on is I started by just drawing this guy on a single frame, right? And I place it on a GP layer, and then there's another layer, GP layer .001. This is the one that's Sverchok created on the fly. So this GP layer 001 is procedural. Everything is drawn live, while this one is manually drawn using mouse. So and this is the result, of course. With the GP layer, I'll explain what's going on. I'll give you the whole node tree in the end, but I'll show you what's actually going on. So currently we have almost like 2,000 data for everything, for every single strokes, every color of every strokes, and also information such as the fill and opacity and all those, everything included in the system. So it's quite big. You see, we almost have like 5,000 color palette for each and every stroke, and you know that sometimes for things like arm and the hands, maybe things like just like a single stroke like this doesn't actually needs a fill. I should and kind of get rid of that for the eyes and the mouth, but the face and the body actually needs a fill, while the rest of parts of the body maybe only needing like the strokes. So this is quite interesting. I'm still exploring it. It's almost like if I'm trying to create this kind of character or creatures and it's all hand drawn, you can quickly create prototype, but if you want to keep everything in order and you want to make like instances, you kind of need to kind of make some kind of plan beforehand, because every strokes actually matters. Let's say you want to draw just a single strokes for the head, and that head, if you're gonna use it for the whole animation, that head part is actually very important. um, I just realized that, and that's actually like a part of 2D animations. Say you have like a character moving around, you don't want to draw every the head every time. Maybe you will reuse the head and reuse the body part. In this case, we are actually reusing every part. For example, let me try. Maybe this is like the all being generated on the fly using Sverchok, but I think some part can actually I can actually make changes, and the results should update right away in here. Let me check. See, the problem with this also, it's not always easy to find out where the data and which character is using the color data, for example, things like that. Well, anyway, I'll explain. So I started from using object ID selector, and this is the grease pencil data that we are currently viewing. So this one, like I said, being generated on the fly using Sverchok. These two nodes responsible for that. All the data that's coming in from here, basically that's I make sure they actually work with a grease pencil, and just all the data coming in as a single plug here into the coordinates. And for this is like almost like 150 characters. This actually takes quite a while to bake. And yeah, I think now it's calculating. I shouldn't unplug that thing. Maybe I should restart this thing. Or I should continue talking. Okay, cool. It seems to refresh itself already, so not too bad. And this grease pencil, this data can be modified further by accessing each and every props here. I have one for the line width. The line width is just using a single value applied for every single character. I can actually make changes here. Make it 1.5, so it's a little bit thicker, or maybe less thicker. Yeah, I think it's actually updating on the fly, so that's pretty fast. And I have this color, like I said, every strokes actually matters in this case. So they are currently having random colors being applied. So we have 1728 data just for the color and every strokes and every fill. So that's something you need to think about if you want to try something like this. It is actually possible to give, for example, for the character, different color for the face, same color for the eyes, same color strokes for the overall character. That's actually possible, but you need some kind of system, yeah, that keeps the same and being repeated for every characters if they are actually the same. What I mean the same is like they have two eyes, one head, body, more or less the same. So this is kind of a good prototype if you want to design some kind of procedural character design, whether it is insects or creatures or like a human characters. This is really good to start to think about it. So I have color this is for the strokes, this one is for the fill-in alpha, and I can control the alpha from here, make it invisible, just strokes only. Strokes only looks quite nice, but sometimes you actually want to have fill. And this one is using the high quality true or false. I can easily change it here. Sometimes true, yeah, true actually works better here. So that's all related to the grease pencil node. So the data that's coming in is actually more important. In the previous live noding, you remember I made some kind of drawing, like for I say it's for like cross hatching, and at some point you realize that I'm actually getting a result where the strokes is being joined just like a normal typical grease pencil instead of having multiple strokes. So in this system I actually managed to kind of join these multiple strokes and then make like a multiplications and kind of separating each and every strokes once again. So there are like a few process going on up here, just to make sure the strokes are keep separated. You can imagine of kind of like a Chinese lettering or Japanese or Korean or like any like Asian language that's actually using this kind of strokes lettering. Each strokes actually matter as a single like a system, and you can think a character is just like this kind of lettering character. So from the way it's being drawn, the order is important. I think I made a mistake with the strokes order there, but yeah, the stroke order matters to keep the data, to keep sane of the data. Like you want to draw the head first, and the eyes, and the mouth, and the body, and then etc. and the arm, the legs. Everything should be in order, and it's a single system that you can perhaps make some kind of variations. Yeah. So what do I have here? This is actually the original drawing, GP layer, the one I hide here. So I start from this guy, I pass the points data, and we don't need this line. I pass these points into UV connection, so that way I can kind of keep them separated, I think. And I join the mesh, and then I'm using the matrix here and apply the matrix to the mesh. That's why I can make like instancer, and then I'm actually separating them again. That's why I can keep all the data separate. They are joined and being duplicated and then being separated again. So they should work for the grease pencil. Maybe this grease pencil node will change in the future. I don't know yet, but maybe for now this will not change for a while, like the developer said. So in order to make the whole system works, you need to make sure the data that's coming in is actually a single it's a working kind of data. What I mean is, if I actually try to bake this, or maybe I can actually bake it, turn it into polyline. I'll reduce the number first, make it 3 by 3, so we have only like 9 of this character. Now this is a lot lighter. This data from here is just a points. It doesn't have any edges data coming in through the grease pencil, so that's very important. If we are using something like polyline viewer, this is where we can do some kind of remeshing for grease pencil. If I plug this into that guy, this will actually work. There we go, see? The strokes actually works very well with this polyline viewer. If the data actually works with polyline viewer, safe to say that you can actually use it for the grease pencil. Sometimes for 3D, this polyline viewer is more interesting, more useful, because now you actually have 3D data, even though they are separated, each strokes being separated. So you have quite data there, quite number of data. Like I said, every strokes will become like important if you want to do this kind of artworks. So okay, I show you the polyline viewer. So you can actually output the strokes easily. What's not so easy is to output the fill of the data, but that's actually possible as well. I'll delete the polyline viewer. Back to this guy. So okay, so what's going on is like we start with a grease pencil with multiple strokes, and I'm doing this kind of mesh joining and then instancing with apply matrix. The instancing, this part actually matters. If you want, depends how you want to make copies of this character. Currently I'm using plain grid. That's why we can get this kind of result very easily. But you can also use things like line. It's no problem. I'm using plain, and then I'm actually I'm using vector noise and make some kind of slight variations to each character just in the transform. That's why some characters slightly taller and shorter and then a little bit fatter. So that's actually coming from these transformations. So that's actually already possible using this kind of system. You can animate them slightly, you know, just wobbling. Yeah, it's cool that you can actually do this already using these nodes inside Sverchok. All you need to do is provide the data. So if we have only like these characters, let's say I'm trying to make something else, I'm gonna switch to I'm gonna turn this off and switch to this guy, and I will make a new grease pencil to show you just the demo. I'll give you this node tree, and then you can give it a try. But I'm going to do a bit of drawing here. Let's make like maybe a little piggy. So something like this. I used to draw this little piggy when I was little. Yeah, see how many strokes we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 strokes to make this character. Okay, and that's already, if you multiply that 100, you have 1500, and then you have how many color? For every strokes, you need to provide the color for the fill and for the strokes. So that's the number can grow significantly. So think about it that way, because currently we don't really have grease pencil instancing method at the moment. Maybe in the future, I don't know, Blender 2.8, Blender 3.0, when we finally have a system that allows us to do instancing using grease pencil, this will work a little bit better, I think. But for now, if you want to experiment with the grease pencil and Sverchok, feel free to do that. It's actually really powerful system. It's almost like um, if you want to learn programming and you are using a tool called processing. Processing allows you to do that kind of like a drawing and then instancing really fast, really quickly. And here you're kind of doing the same thing, but you are using nodes, and the logic and the thinking behind it is very similar. Except here that if you look at here, you only have nodes and nothing else, and that's actually really powerful. So you don't need to think about the programming codes if you just want to understand what's actually going on. And if you are trying to teach this to someone else, it's all pretty logical. There we go. I'm making some kind of duplication of the piggy. So there's one funky coloring there happening with the piggy. I don't know why. I think the only limitation is probably trying to make sure we can control all these colors. Of course, I can currently I can randomize the color. This guy is getting a funky color there. Control the we can control the opacity, so that's no problem. The fill color, I don't have any setup for the fill color at the moment. It's just white. If I try to do that, I can use the fill color. Just copy this guy like this, and then I think this should work. See, now all becoming red. Oh, cool. I didn't expect this. I can plug this all random color for the piggy as well. It's better to keep it simple, I guess. Single color for the fill for now. So pink little piggy. Okay, yeah, that's I guess that's pretty much it for the system. Feel free to give this a try. Just download this. I'll give you the gist, the whole setup. You can give it a try with your own drawing and see what you can come up with. See this little guy, and then I actually have a few other drawing. But anyway, this is kind of funny thing that you can do this using grease pencil and Sverchok, but it's really powerful as well. Try maybe rotating your drawings and make instancing using this matrix. So whatever you plug in into the locations and the scale and rotation angle will affect each and every single drawings. Yeah, if you have any question, feedback, just let me know in the comment section below. Give this a try, and thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.